there are just some things that you gotta admit you're just not good at. Okay, I concede the loss. Uh, but it's that just, I got so frustrated with the lack of sense that my girlfriend was making until she told me, yeah, I don't really pay attention. Well, that's the thing, man. I wish you had said that.
I just pay too much attention.
That's what I was doing. This doesn't make sense because he has a werewolf sign, so the werewolf sign should be able to be in tune with nature, and his mother was a witch, but if he's the undead, and this is what threw me off, she said he's the undead by being a vampire, so that means he doesn't really have a soul, so he doesn't have a connection to the spirit realm. I said, oh, okay, well then that would make sense, but his mother was a witch who died, or his brother died, and his brother was a vampire, so how did they bring his soul back? Because his mother went down to the super underworld to get his brother.
Underworld?
I said, wait.
I don't know if it'd be the super underworld.
Well, she said that, I said, so you mean to tell me there's a regular underworld for normal people? No, she said there's a regular underworld for normal people, then there's an underworld for supernatural creatures.
That's the best way to put it is just purgatory.
Yeah, and I said, so you mean to tell me that his mother, who was a witch, went to the super underworld to get an undead creature's non-soul and bring it back and put it into a body so he can be dead living? That doesn't make sense! So how can he use magic if he was a vampire once? I don't know, ask Justin to explain it to you.
Yeah, it's the mythology behind it is monsters go to purgatory.
Okay.
People go to the underworld.
Okay.
And then that's basically it. Everybody else goes to heaven, I guess, basically.
See, and that's what I was asking her. I said, this doesn't make sense. Usually, these kind of shows are based on lore, and there is some kind of common theme that they adhere to in some type of lore. This show just broke all that common.
Well, they kind of explain it. They just name it different things.
Well, she did not explain it
yeah,
well.
She
and I got frustrated.
But yeah, she went to purgatory, where the monsters are locked away, so that way they don't interfere with the dead people.
So
the underworld.
So the vampires aren't really soulless.
No, they're monster souls. Let's call them that. They are part of a different faction. Werewolves, vampires, zombies. No, not zombies. Oh yeah, werewolves, vampires, not Lycans. What's the other one?
Lich?
Yeah, like those anything that's not a human soul that's either damned or saint. Those go to purgatory.
What about zombies?
Those are basically just people brought back from the dead. So they're originally souls, but they're damned souls. So that still goes to the underworld. They were just brought back to their body.
Ah, okay.
But since his soul was vampire, he just went to a different body. That's why.
Okay.
He still needed a human vessel.
Oh, okay. Because I'm sitting there and I watched part of the show and I asked her, I said, so he's a wizard now. Does he have his...
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah, he's a wizard now, or warlock, one of the two.
Either way.
And I said, so does he have the vampire powers since he was... No, he's mortal. Wait, what? So he was a vampire, but he died and went to the monster underworld, but then he came back and now he's a normal human. So he lost that monster tendency, but he's a wizard now, so if they kill him, he'll go to the regular underworld instead of going to the monster underworld.
No, he'll still go to purgatory because that's his original soul. He was turned to a vampire because that's what his body turned into. Remember, their soul is not a vampire, their body becomes the vampire.
Okay.
So when he died, his soul still can personally still goes to purgatory because that's how he died. He died a vampire, which was a monster. But because his soul was taken into a different body, it was normal. But it's just like, I take over your body. I was originally a vampire, but now I'm not anymore.
So if he's in, does him technically being a witch or a wizard now count as his soul being like one of the monster souls?
Yeah, he's still originally a monster soul. The only thing different is now he has a vessel to where it went from. It went from point A to purgatory, then point B to the new body. So when he dies, he will still go back to purgatory because that's where he originally went to. He was just got in a taxi and just taken someplace,
So is he looking for like a spell of immortality so he doesn't have to die?
He probably could do that, or he could just become a vampire again, whichever one he prefers. But I think he likes probably staying more as a wizard than a vampire.
I think so too, because he's running things now, and he's pretty
yeah.
good at it.
Well, because mainly vampires still have that one weakness, sunlight.
Right.
So he can do his business out in the day and be protected and not have to worry about anyone coming after him.
Well, does being turned into a werewolf extend his life?
Yes. Both vampire... his life would extend more as a vampire than Lycan, because since technically vampires are somewhat zombie-ish, they don't have any lifespan anymore. Lycans, their bodies are like, dogs. Every reverse dog years, every 7 years almost is like 1 year. So imagine every 70 years is 1 year.
Every 70 years for a human is 1 year to a Lycan?
Yep.
Whoa, so they can live for...
Very, very, very long time. Some of them can actually get regenerated by the full moon and...
Reset?
Almost. They can extend their life even more. I mean, they just don't have it long as a limit anymore. So let's say after 700 years, they've only aged like 10.
So what is the point of being a hybrid? What's the merit in having both?
You have both. You have strength, both of their strengths and none of their weaknesses.
So he's as strong as a vampire and a werewolf combined.
Yep.
Just being normal.
Yep. And then he doesn't have the weakness of sunlight and stuff like that. At least that's what the mythology of it is.
So can he transform into a werewolf?
He can transform into like a weird different hybrid. I mean, have you seen Underworld?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that.
Does it still have to like break all his bones to do that transformation?
No. I mean, they more compact. I mean, you remember seeing the first one where he transformed it? It kind of looks like that. He doesn't have that fur, but he does have the long, linky bone structure.
So, I know I keep asking you a lot of questions. So,
Don't worry.
I haven't seen him transform in this series to that ultimate form yet.
I think it takes a lot for him to do that, or he just hasn't seen it necessary to it. Because there are some mythology behind it saying that once they transform, they kind of lose themselves to their instincts.
Really?
So if he does transform, he may do something he may not want.
So, would he be stuck like that, or would he eventually come back to his senses and it wear off?
Iffy.
So,
It's
theory,
50-50 pretty much.
in theory, since he's an original vampire, and he's an original werewolf, and he's an original witch, and he's a cross between all three of those, he is the strongest being on the planet.
Of that hybrid, of that class, yes.
So, would he... so, in theory, there are others like him that are running around the world, which could be like Bigfeet or Sasquatch or Yeti, and they're just lost themselves and they're just roaming now.
Yeah.
So he could, in theory, if they expanded this show outside of this one New Orleans town that they're in, he could travel the world and find those other people.
Yeah, the only problem is that there's a select few that can only have it. The theory behind it is you have to be an original, you have to have the purest of blood for it to become a hybrid.
So...
Any delusion, you pretty much die.
Really?
Yeah, let's say you're a vampire and you get bitten by a Lycan, and you transform on the... I think your thing turned off.
Oh, man.
And then you get the full moon for your first transformation, or you just basically die because those two blood formulas can't work because, undead and living wolf.
Yeah.
But if your blood was purest as you can get it, they'll be able to crossbreed and you'll be able to become what you are. The witch part's kind of easy. All you have to do is be one with nature or whichever type of witch you're going to be.
Now, the wolf in him should have a natural disposition for nature, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
That's how usually some of them were. They had their own little cult, basically, of Lycans. They were... I'm trying to remember what the best way to do it. The only thing that comes to mind is that Scooby-Doo movie with those giant cats.
Like werecats?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were in New Orleans. They were doing their show. I can't remember what Scooby-Doo movie it was. But basically they had their own culture and everything about the solstice, the specific wolf god, Ragnarok.
Oh, cool.
There was this one passage with Ragnarok of the wolf, and that's what they go with. That's what mythology would go with, any Lycans.
Okay. So, I take it from everything that's going on that this show could have essentially limitless boundaries because he could travel the world and see if he could find these other ones. And it'd be cool if they did something like, wow, if he fought them in one, he could steal their strength and become even stronger.
Something like that.
That'd be awesome.
The closest thing that I've ever seen to actually really, really close to mythology is the show Supernatural.
You know, I didn't see that show.
That's a good one if you ever get a chance to watch it.
Okay. Then.
Because right now they've actually got what I thought was something close to the originals, and they have the mafia monsters.
What?
Yep, they have gang of vampires, Lycans, Lycans. Legends, genies.
What?
And shapeshifters and like little factions.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's in Supernatural?
Yep.
I gotta watch that show.
Oh,
That
yeah.
sounds cool.
They've got angels, demons, I'm trying to remember what the word is when you have an angel and a demon.
Oh,
hybrid.
It's something like how they
Nephilim.
rebranded. Oh, the Nephilim are angels and demons?
Yeah, well, there's different types of Nephilims, but the basic strongest one is where it's angel and demon.
Ooh, so is that what they branded the reboot of Devil May Cry as? So
Yeah,
Dante is a Nephilim?
Mm-hmm, that's what they call them.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the strongest of the versions of Nephilims.
Wow.
Because, like I said, like a hybrid, they have both the strengths and none of the weaknesses.
Oh.
And,
okay.
yeah, they've got, they've crossroad demons, actual cultural links to different people and events. It's a good show if you ever get a chance to watch it. And my voice is returning.
It is.
Yes.
All right. And you know what I forgot?
Bathroom.
1 and 2, I forgot to turn off the recording.
Oh, it's still on?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to edit that.
Yeah. Well, not the episode recording. This is like the test video.
Oh, test video.
I
Yeah.
have an idea.
For what?
You all will see.
Yeah, we'll see then.